Itzy. I've stanned these girls since the very first day and I've watched the show 16 before, so I automatically picked Chaeryeong as my bias, but after that I quickly fell in love with the 5 of them. Dalla Dalla being my first song made me think that their music was really unique and different from the previous generation. As of right now I don't have a bias in Itzy. I love them all so much and they are now one of my favorite group ever, not to mention that their discography is really good. Their music has kept improving and their releases keep being better. They are for sure my favorite performers of the 4th gen and their multiple covers, activities and interviews make me attached to the girls and I don't think I'll get bored of them as a group anytime soon. Next we have the legends Twice. At first the member who caught my attention was Chewie because she looked so unreal to me. At that time they were promoting Yes or Yes, a song that I still adore to this day. And I remember thinking that cute songs were the typical K-pop sound because at that time I still had some prejudices about K-pop music, which is really dumb, I'm ashamed. I turned out to be finding their discography much more diverse than I thought it was. I do think that the music they've been putting out for the last 2 years is way better than their old releases and I'm enjoying their artistic direction. I've fallen in love with their teamwork and chemistry, and as for my bias, Jihyo and Chaeryeong take the spot. BTS. Where do I even start? The group that introduced me to K-pop and that made me the person I am today. I wish I was joking. My first song was DNA and I immediately thought, wow, what a bop is this K-pop, because this is really good, they are so stunning, my god. Sweetie did I know. BTS felt like the start of a new era. I was so interested in them and their music automatically appealed to me. Right now I'm so proud of these boys. I started standing them when they were gaining popularity overseas and look at them now. I do think they deserve everything they have now, I mean come on. Their music is as good as versatile, you can see they genuinely love their fans and overall they are awesome people. As for my bias, J-Hope is the one for now. It usually changes but recently he has been holding a special place, he truly is a sunshine, I love him. Talking about groups who changed my life, here is Loona. My first song was Butterfly and I'm telling you it was a love at first sight because it's still one of my favorite songs to this day. I remember being frustrated because there were so many members with their own colors, solos, animals and all, and I wasn't used to it. However, if one member stood out right at the start, it was Heejin, this talented all-rounder beautiful woman. Now they are my second favorite group. I've get to know each member and I couldn't stick to one bias, so I'm OT12. Loona has such an interesting world gravitating around them and it never fails to amaze me. To their choreography, to discography, to personality, there isn't a single thing I dislike about them. I'm so proud to be in orbit. I-dle. You already know my all-time favorite group, so you might wonder my first impressions, right? Well, indeed I thought that Latata was amazing, but at that time I only knew BTS and Blackpink, so I did think that they were bland next to them. I'm very embarrassed to say that, lol. Thank god this phase only lasted a day and after that I started being really interested in them and I started being obsessed with Soojin. I was like, how is it possible to be so perfect? Goodbye. My love for them has never stopped growing. Their comebacks never disappoint me, and as a self-produced group the work they put out is amazing to me. My favorite song has to be Maybe, and it's actually on my top 3 K-pop songs of all time. I find these girls so talented and for some reasons I don't think they are faking their personality. You can see that they consider each others as sisters and overall, they make me so happy. I have a connection with this group that I don't find anywhere else and I love them for that. Blackpink is the group who changed my perspective about K-pop music. When I first found out about them I immediately thought, oh my god, I need to know everything about them. They are so charismatic, their music is so good, lord. After listening to D4, Lisa is the one who catched my attention first because of the way she dances and her aura, obviously. Jisoo has been my bias for 6 months and when I tell you I'd give up everything for this girl I mean it. Blackpink as a group is now on my top 3 female artists and I couldn't be prouder. I've got the chance to see them evolving in the global industry with the Coachella event. I even went to their world tour and I genuinely think that Blackpink is the full package. Surprisingly, the little amount of content they put out makes me even more interested because I'm always impatient to see what's next. Just like everyone, my first impression of NCT was general confusion. I was so lost with the units and the amount of members, but I quickly took my marks and I started recognizing certain members, and then I get into them units by units. My first bias was Mark due to his sense of humor. It was unexpected to me because before I never saw an idol being that down to earth, so I picked him as my bias. They are hands down one of the funniest K-pop group I know. Even though I haven't catched up with the new members, the 21 that I know are all so funny and unique that right now I think the amount of members they have isn't too much at all. The diversity of comebacks that they offer us makes their discography so interesting that everyone can find the type of music they love. Also, Heechan is my second alt bias. This man is my reference in life. I love him. Red Velvet. I'm being honest, I don't exactly remember what were my first thoughts about them, but something that comes to my mind is that I couldn't tell who was Irene and Joy even though they don't look alike at all. I was blind, but we move. Wendy's vocal blew me away. I thought she was such an amazing vocalist and I really liked her personality. I miss these girls so much. We haven't heard new music from them as a group for more than 1 year and them disbanding would be the end of me. Red Velvet are undeniably the most versatile group out there. They have this presence and aura about them that never fail to keep me connected. Not to mention, whether you like it or not, yes, they are the best vocalist group of the 3rd gen. That's all I have to say. Also, Yeri, love of my life. Just like Itzy, I've been stanning Everglow since day one. I adored Bon Bon Chocolate and I was rooting for them. However, the general opinion that K-pop stan made about them, saying that they were Blackpink 2.0, made me very angry. So I started defending them and eventually loving them even more. I would be lying if I'd say their releases have kept being better, because Bon Bon Chocolate and Adios remain superior to me. Their B-sides are either a bop or a skip to me, but most of the time I'm addicted to them. I've learned to know more about them as a group and I like how they seem so real without forcing their personalities. EU has stayed my bias, but honestly the 6 of them are awesome and overall Everglow is such a fun group to stan. I always saw people talking about 17, but for some reasons I wasn't interested in them until my friend recommended them to me. I immediately fell in love with them. 13 members wasn't too much for me and I quickly started to watch all of their going 17 episodes and that was it. I knew I was going to ult these boys. Turned out I was right. Now they are my favorite K-pop group alongside I-dle. I think it's safe to say that these boys saved my 2020. They are arguably the funniest and the most talented group in the industry. I could say so many things about them, such as their self-produced songs, chorus raps, everything, the chemistry they have between them and their fans, or even their flawless discography. Also, Hoshi is now my alt male bias and I couldn't be prouder. Stream Hurricane lol.